All right, y'all. So it's the Thursday night data dump. So I just want to give this to y'all really quickly because I know it's Thursday night football. It's kickoff night for the NFL regular season. Um, so we know that there's not much going on in the market right now. We're waiting for the Federal Reserve to come out with the first rate cut, or what we're expecting this to be the first rate cut in a couple weeks. So what's moving the market right now? Well, so what's moving the market right now is a good question. Is just market sentiment, right? So you can see this is a chart of the volatility index, right? So the volatility just measures how much movement or how much action we're getting in the stock market. The one thing to know about the VIX specifically is that the VIX is measured by the S&P 500 and they're inversely correlated. So the higher the VIX, typically the lower the S&P 500. So if we're looking at this, you can see that there was a spike in the VIX. This was during the Japan carry trade, and that spiked it all the way up to over 60. And then we got it to settle out a little bit. It remained down to its normal levels, which is below 20. And now we're seeing a little bit more chop in the VIX above 20. So what does that mean? That means now is the time to buy. And you're like, well, why is now the time to buy? Why is the VIX spiking? The VIX is spiking because it's the end of the year. And I know that sounds kind of flippant, but when we look at average stock market returns by month, so we're talking about on average market sentiment, you can see that from 1980 to 2019, where these measurements came from, September is typically the worst month of the year for the stock market. Why is that? Everybody's cashing out to get ready for the end of the year. So you got mutual funds, you got ETFs, you got hedge funds. They have to pay their investors. So they're cashing out, they're collecting money, they're getting ready to do their taxes, to start tax preparations, all that stuff. So that way, when they get to the last quarter of the year, the fourth quarter, they have an idea about what they need to do, any adjustments that they need to make, or anything that they need to do to get prepared for the next calendar year. Scrolling down a little bit more, you can even see on his bar graph here, September is on average the worst performing month of the year. So, what you're experiencing right now is normal market action, normal market volatility. Is the world ending? I don't know. It could be, but I'm looking outside my window and it looks like it's still there. So, now is the time to buy. If you're a trader, now is the time to sell. Trade against the market, trade along with the VIX. But if you're an investor, now is the time to buy. Stocks are down, but companies are still doing okay. We ended earnings season. You know which companies are doing good. You know which ones are doing not so good. You heard all the earnings reports from everybody. Buy what you like. So if you like it, now's the time to buy it. Buy it while we're here here above 20. On average, the VIX tries to be around 20. A high VIX is going to try to get back below 20. And so you're like, how do you know that? Well, if we zoom out a little bit, we go 1 year. This was the carry trade. This was a little bit of a bubble here. So that was this year, right? If we go back even further, 5 years, this was all COVID, right? 2020 to 2022. You see the VIX spiked up here to 85, and it still came down to below 40 and stayed above 20 until it was able to settle. We were getting all that inflation, we were getting all those rate hikes and everything else, or the inflation. We started getting the rate hikes here, but the volatility inside the stock market settled down. 15 years ago, look at that. So you can see right here at this 20 mark is where the VIX likes to stay below. When it spikes above 20, it's trying to get back to 20. So if you ever wake up and you see the VIX above 20, you buy. That's just an easy rule of thumb. The VIX is above 20, you buy. When it's below 20, you hold or you sell, you get into cash or whatever it is that you want to do. That way you have the liquidity to buy again when the VIX goes above 20. All right, guys, that's it. Enjoy your football games.